Hey, what's up, y'all? Oh my God. So, y'all know I'm trying to bring y'all some fly ass, cool ass people that I have learned about and that I think are amazing out in the world. So, today I'm gonna bring y'all Naïmah Janse. She is the co-founder of Black Trans Art and Joy Fund, which is an org based in the Netherlands that centers community care for Black trans people with a focus on practical support to provide to the community. And, it's like a focus on creating and shared space and legacy and, really above all, our joy as trans people. And they're based in the Netherlands. And we want to thank you for joining us, Naima.
Thank you for having me.
So you hail before we get to the Netherlands stuff. You hail from the beautiful Caribbean island of St. Martin. That's where you grew up, right?
Yes.
So you were born and raised there. So tell me about growing up. Who was loving on you? Tell me about your family unit. Like, tell me about growing up in the Caribbean.
Growing in the Caribbean was a little bit tough back in the
Of
day. But
course.
you know how it is. And I was in a household of Catholic with my mom. She's Dominican, so I'm Dominican. My dad is from Curacao. My dad passed away when I was 7, so I don't really have that much memories with him. Growing up with my mom, it was tough because she was like the only provider in the house once my dad passed away. And outside of the house was also like it was giving a lot of hate also because of me being who I am. People would say, "Why are you acting this way? Why are you moving this way?" So I've always experienced a lot of like hate in high school. But thank God for my mom and my family. They've always embraced us with a lot of love and joy. Um, yeah, so it's been tough in the islands. And finding out about ballroom, I felt like I found this outlet that can let me express myself the way I
Mm.
feel. So I would say
So,
ballroom really helped a lot when it was to that.
so I was watching this video and you were telling this kind of wild coming out story. Can you share that story
Yeah.
about how many siblings do you have?
I have 3 brothers.
So tell me about your kind of coming out situation where because your journey, like most of us, can be with your mom, even the accepting ones that eventually come around. It can
Exactly.
be, it can be it can be a road, it can be a journey. And so same thing with my mom. And so tell me about that experience, your coming out journey with your mom. And when did your kind of transition start to kind of not start, like I hate people to be like, oh, when did you start transition? But in your brain, like when did you start to feel like, there's something here. What's going on?
I've always had this feeling from very young, like I was never attracted to the girls. I was always more attracted to the guys. I would always be picked on, like I said, by the way I walked or by the way I talked. They would be like, your voice is so feminine and this, that. But my mom, like I said, it was like a Catholic household and they're Dominican. So they don't have a lot of understanding when it came to the LGBTQ. And then I've always hid who I was very young. My brother came out when he was like around 12 or 13. And that kind of helped me find my way to also opening up about myself.
What number are
Uh,
you?
Excuse me?
What number are you in the lineup of
I'm the
children?
last one,
You the
the last.
baby.
Yeah. So my mom has 3 guys and I'm the only girl. And the story with my mom was that she was like, "Oh my God, I want a girl so bad. And this is gonna be my my last baby." And I was tucked inside my mom from in the womb. She was, tucked away. And the doctors were like, "Okay,
Word.
your dream is actually coming true. You're gonna have your girl." My mom went crazy. She bought everything pink. Like it was just insane. And then when I came out, they got a surprise and they found out that I was actually, not really a girl. But at the end, she still got her girl that she's always wanted.
Word.
And like I said, also like in the beginning, also in the video I made with the Black Trans Arts Joy Fund, it's never been like smooth sailing. Like my brother was the one that made it easier because he was the first one to come out. And it really hurt my heart to see my mom so devastated and she was just so hurt. Like she just didn't understand what was going on, but she was just hurt. Like my son is gay and but then eventually she accepted him. So when she accepted him, that kind of made me feel like, okay, maybe she's gonna accept me too. But coming out was really also rough for me. Like it was a really rough period. I ran out of the house. Like I stayed at my friend's house for maybe like a day or two. It was really, really hard times. But she then came around and she just learned to love us. And I found ballroom. And then the first person I saw was Laomi. And I
Mm.
was like, oh my God, wait, is this a trans woman? So that when I started to like express myself, finding ballroom and starting to dance,
Now,
I
when you
started
wait,
to
wait, wait, wait. When you said you found ballroom, are you talking about like through the internet, like through like videos and
actually my brother, yeah, he went to New York to study dance and he came back and he was like, yo, I came back with this crazy style. It's called Vogue. And look at this community. And we just got into it and we were just obsessed. And this is like the first time we really saw like, well, I really saw like femme queens, like transitioning. And I'm like, okay, wow, is this really possible? Then I started to explore myself with like dressing up, and I felt better in drags than out of drags. And I would live a double life. Like at home, I would come and dress up and go online and go on BGC and talk to the guys.
work, BGC? Yes.
Yes, I used to go on BGC and talk to the guys, and then outside I would go back as a butch queen. And then I moved here. And then when I moved here in 2012, that was when my transition officially started because like I left the side of my mom so I could do what I want. I was with my brother. And yeah, here I also lived a double life for like maybe a few months. And then I just called my mom up one day. One of my girlfriends got me hormones. And I called my mom and I was like, listen, mom, I'm going to take this journey, and she was like, honey, I've seen it before you even told me, like, it's okay. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. So yeah, moms really know everything. She was just being a little hard in the beginning, but yeah, she eventually
Mm.
came around.
I love that. I want to give a little context about BGC. So, if people who don't know, BGC is Black Gay Chat,
Hmm.
and it used to in the beginning, early days of the website, it was called Black Gay Chat, and then because of it, the community kind of expanded it outside of just Black and Gay. They changed it to BGC Live. And it
Hmm.
used to be so lit, like in the OOs, we used to have chat rooms. It used to be like different forums that we would be in, and of course, like people would be hitting you up and message you and stuff like that. Honey, we used to cut up in them forums and cut up in them chat rooms. How old are you?
35.
Yeah, so I'm 43. You were coming up when I was, I guess, you would have been a kid. You would have been not a kid, but you would be in your early 20s.
Yeah,
Yeah, you would have been
young,
in your early 20s at that time. Young, yeah.
even younger. I was like maybe 17. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and it was everybody was on there. I mean, everybody in the queer community was on BGC. It's kind of like Grinder now, except not app form. It's a website. And so we just
used
would
to
go
be
in
there.
there and kiki. So yeah, that gives a
Yeah.
little context to that. So how did
Yes.
you end up moving to the Netherlands? Because didn't you move there when you were like 20?
22.
So how did you end up moving there?
Yeah, my brother was studying dance here, and I was also a dancer. And he was just telling me, come out here, you can apply for a school here and get a scholarship and, further my career in dance because we were so obsessed also with dancing. So that's how I came up here. And he
Mm.
had he had the house here, and I just came up here with him.
So how was that transition like culturally?
It was actually a relief. Like I didn't know anything but the Caribbean, and it's like so close-minded back home. And then to come to a place that was so open and so free, kind of felt like New York because I was always obsessed also to going to New York. And I also moved to New York in 2012. But just coming here just felt very like a big sigh, like finally, like I can just be myself and do my own thing. So the racism is gonna always be,
Look, so
everywhere.
that was going to be my question. Like when you we kind of romanticize um as Americans, we romanticize places like the Netherlands and places that kind of more progressive when it comes to trans issues. But and I've been there. I've been to Amsterdam and Rotterdam a little bit. And so when I go there, I say it's like you can tell that it ain't as bad as the U.S. when it comes to racism,
It's
but
not.
but you can see just a little bit. It's like racism light.
It is. It really is. It really depends where you go also. Like
Hmm.
if you go to the countryside, honey, just be prepared.
Yeah.
Be prepared to fight. But it's like light. It's very light. We actually have it good out here. Like it's not that bad. So
Mm. So tell me
yeah.
about it. Like, what's the tea like in regards to like resources for trans people out there? Because we came out there and there was like only when we went to visit like the different organizations, it
Hmm.
wasn't a lot, but we saw people trying to build something. So to explain that a little bit, what's the resources like? So if somebody is moving there and they want to be safe and, because I've actually considered moving to Amsterdam, like the really, really serious moving there. What is the resources like? What is the real deal?
Resources is really hard because there's not a lot of places, like you said. Now I've heard, I just found this out last week, that there's another clinic that helps the trans girls. But for when I came out here, there was only one place, and it was called the VU Medicentrum. And here you apply, you say, you want some therapy to undergo hormone therapy, and also they help you with the SRS. They used to also help like breast implant, but not anymore. And the waiting list was so long. Like it was years. You had to wait like maybe 2 to 3 years just to
Wow.
actually get a first appointment. Yeah, it was crazy. So that's why I told you, like, I resorted to getting hormones from my girlfriend. And the way I got into everything, it was just like, I'm just blessed. Really, I'm
Good.
really just blessed because my transition and getting my stuff was really easy. Like I had the coolest doctors. Like I would just talk to my doctor and be like, listen, I'm on this. Can you prescribe them to me? And he just give it to me. But honestly, if you're coming out here and you're a trans woman and you're transitioning, it's really hard. It's a long waiting list.
Mm.
There's not many, but now there's like small organizations. Like there's the Trans United Clinic that's
Yeah,
here.
that's where we went.
That's the main one that's right now helping the girls that are not with the VU because of the waiting list. So, but there's growing, and that's why also we created the Black Trans Arts and Joy Fund. Like I can help the girls with hormones. If I have hormones, I'll give them, or I'll connect them to another femme queen that sells hormones.
Hmm.
I always have people that do these kind of things, and they know that people come to me looking for it. So I
Okay.
just, connect them to people. But it's getting better.
So what about like just kind of navigating the world? So like when I was there, I didn't really have any. Now when I say there, I'm talking about Amsterdam because I was doing the touristy thing at Rotterdam, but at Amsterdam I was there for a little minute, and so I was
Mhm.
able to kind of mingle a little bit, and I didn't really have any kind of issues walking around. I feel like I'm relatively passable, but
You are.
um, in that regards, even when we were talking to people and we were spilling our tea, like telling our tea, nobody was giving no
Mhm.
lateness. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very chill, especially Amsterdam. Like touristy places are very chill.
So what about the trade, child? What about the men? What
I'm
about the love?
really,
What are they giving? Like are they fuck boys like out here or is it a little bit more free? What is they giving?
it's crazy because I actually lived for the trades more in New York. I felt like the trades in New York and in the States have more balls than they do here. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's crazy. The trades don't really give anything. They're just chasers, low key DLs. Like,
Oh, oh,
nothing.
sad.
I had my first relationship was when I moved to New York in 2012, and I haven't
Mm.
had a relationship ever since. I came back here in 2015, so just fuck boys, just yeah, a waste of time.
Oh, that
I,
sucks.
yeah, it does really suck because it's crazy because I know the girls probably think you can get your trade out here. You can get a trade, but like
It
it's
ain't
hard
gonna
to
be
find.
serious.
Exactly, it's hard
It's
to
gonna be
find
some
something.
bullshit.
Yeah.
What about
So
career wise? What about working and discrimination and like finding a job? Is it hard to find a job out there?
sometimes, yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Sometimes it's really hard to find, depending on where you're applying. Like, they sometimes discriminate towards, trans girls, but it's not that hard like in the States. Like I know in the States they check that or they wouldn't take you because it's not like that. It's not that extreme here. But you would bump into maybe one or two that wouldn't take me. I actually was I applied to this job that's called Flink. It's like to order from home, groceries from home.
Uh-huh.
And the lady, I came up and I was like, I'm trans. But from since I told her I was trans, she always used to find something to say about me, my body. She'd be like, "You have big tits. Why do you have big ass?" Like, yeah, it was just,
What?
yeah. And she fired me on my first week. You have a trial period, like in the States, and she didn't even let me finish my trial period. She just fired me. Yeah. But that was like a blessing because like 2 days later, after I got fired, I got signed to become a model by APL.
Okay.
And that was,
That's a blessing.
yeah, it was really a blessing.
Let me
It came.
think. What about like sex work? So everybody kind of make it seem like sex work is like it's legal and is that and if it's legal, is that like a cute thing to do in regards to like you can make some money or is it like a scam in the fine print? Like what's the tea with it?
You can really make money. Like I know a girlfriend of mine's, my daughter actually, she rents a room at the red light and she makes
Mm-hmm.
really, really good money. Like
Mm.
sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's high, but that's everywhere. But
Yeah.
it's like secure. You pay your room, you make your money. It's always busy. There's like the tourists, every time they come here, they go straight to the red light district.
Yes.
Everyone want to see the red light district. Like artists, my daughter told me that she's seen artists before. Like they will come and just pay you. Like it's not like the States.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. It's actually
So
chill.
okay, that's what's up. So, it feels like there's some good things. Like motherfuckers aren't. At least you can get health care.
Yes.
You can get health care, but it doesn't seem like it's because most of the people that I talked to when I was there that were trans, they were like they were having some experience because yes, it seemed like it's free and open as walking around, but they were having issues finding jobs because people like you to be way more conservative
Hmm.
at jobs, and so they were having issues with that. So I can see some positive things, and I can see some negative things with being there, living as a trans
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Mm. All right, so in outside of your amazing work when it comes to like your organization, you are a dance instructor, a model, overall like this overall trans beauty that's kind of taking the Netherlands ballroom scenes to new heights. And
Yes.
so your ballroom journey, clearly you just said it started with being introduced to ballroom like when you were young and still in the Caribbean, but you moved to New York in 2012
Yes.
and that kind of course you're in New York City, you're at the
Mhm.
epicenter of where it started, so
The Mecca, yeah.
yeah, the mecca of ballroom, like the root of it. So tell me about that experience, how you know seeing it from afar and then actually coming in it and playing.
It was beautiful, but I was like, it was kind of short-lived a bit because of my boyfriend. He was a bit toxic, but just being in New York was really an experience I will never forget. It actually made me into the person I am today. Like, forever grateful, even though I've had some really hard times in New York, because if you don't got money out there, you will go on the streets. And like I was kind of homeless twice when I lived there. I was also doing
Mm.
sex work. And then I met my boyfriend, and then he kind of like helped me and supported me for a few months, but he was also very toxic. It was a domestic violence kind of relationship. Like, yeah, I just had to run away. But the times that I spent with ballroom there really mold me into the person that I am today. Like just
Mm.
finding out also like the history and the ins and out of ballroom. This is when I found out when I moved there. Because back in the islands, we just saw the videos, we just saw the clips, we were just into it, we were dancers. But going to New York really made me realize why was ballroom created, you know?
Mm.
So
Did
it was
you
a really beautiful experience.
a lot of people don't understand the domestic violence in our community and they
Mhm.
don't understand how prevalent it is. And so, if there is a girl that's listening, I kind of want to shine light on your experience with it just to, just to kind of help her, because sometimes just hearing somebody else's story can help you get out of the situation
Yeah.
or not feel shamed about even being in it. And so, tell me, how did your relationship with that person start off and when did you start seeing the shifts, like the red flags start to come up? Of course you were in a situation where, like you said, you had been homeless twice
Mhm.
and or get home in and out, housing unstable, and this person coming in helping you out and being a support system. And so when did you start seeing that shift in their personality to where it started to be violent, it starts to be toxic in that situation? How did it start and how did it kind of transition?
The way it started, I was staying by my girlfriend in Brooklyn, and she was like, I'm gonna get some weed from this weed guy. Um, we were actually gonna go to Christopher Street, but then this night we decided to just stay in. And he came over, and the whole time when he was there, he just kept looking at me and just kept like, trying to get my attention. And this is how we met. We met like he was just coming to sell weed to my girlfriend. I'm probably sure they probably did something together. Um, and then at the time, we were just hanging out and just being there, all three of us. And then my girlfriend started to like get jealous about it. Like she was just because I honestly didn't know that they had anything between them, but she was just like, it's fine, do your thing. And then I just thought that she was getting jealous, and then she put me out of the house. And then he was the one that took me in. And where I realized that it was really a problem is when we were just like chilling in the bed, and he would just get up and just like start insulting me and start calling me like I'm worthless, like I don't have a job and I don't have money. And like it was just so weird. Like that's when I really realized. And then what confirmed it, he was on a phone call with his doctor. And then he was like calling for some pills. I don't know which pills. And then she was like, "But are you still on your medication?" And he was like, "What medication?" Like trying to play it off because it was on speaker. And then she was like, "Your bipolar medication." This is when I was like, "Yep, he's bipolar, and this is why he's having these mood switches." But it was honestly one of the roughest times that I've been through in New York. And because of him, I couldn't experience more of ballroom while I was there because he was just so jealous and like holding me back, even from my mom, communicating with my mom. He was just taking like control of everything. He broke my phone a few times. He was one of those trades that were like, they would be with you in the room and say that you're your man, whatever, and just to protect you. And then later on, we just kind of fell in love with each other. It was just a mess, child. Really, it
Mhm.
was really a hard time because he was like my first everything, you know. So I was heads in deep, like in love with him.
And so how did you get out of it?
I will never forget this. We had an argument, and where we used to stay it was at his grandma's house. But his grandma's house, she had like a big house, so she had this basement room, like a little apartment in the basement, and that was his. And the grandma and the grandfather lived upstairs. And whenever we would have like fights or whatever, they could hear it. And this last time, we were having a fight, and it was getting really, really like really bad. And I tried to run away, and he was like choking me on the floor. His grandma had to come out and tell him like, leave her go, you're gonna kill her. I almost blacked out. Like I was starting to see everything dark, and then I just ran inside the room from the grandparents. And yeah, that was when I was like, that's the last straw. I called my mom, told her to book me my ticket back to the islands, and I just left.
Mm.
Yeah, it was really, 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 it was really an experience.
What did you learn about yourself?
to love myself. Like, I don't need anybody to validate that. Like, love yourself. You don't need no one. And you're stronger. Like, I can make it through anything by myself. And that's why I was afraid. I was afraid of being by myself in New York. I had no one, I had no family. I had my gay mother, but she kind of gave up on me because she saw that I kept going back to him, you know?
Mm,
So my fear was like being on my own because he painted this fantasy in my head, like he'll always be there, he'll always be the one to protect me. And I kind of leaned on that.
mm.
And that's what I learned. Like, I don't need nobody to reach my full potential or what I need to do.
That's what's up. I love that.
Yeah.
So when you went back to the Caribbean, of course, you end up going back to the Netherlands.
Yeah, I went first to the Caribbean and then I came back to the Netherlands.
So during that time, that's when you got bit by the bug again, ballroom bug, and I guess that's when you what happened in that? What was you end up going to school?
Yeah, I was going to school first when I moved here, but when I came
Okay.
back, I
Oh,
came back, and at the time when I moved here in 2010, ballroom was like nowhere here. Like, we would be kikiing in the club and voguing, but people would look at us like we're crazy. Like, what's going on? What kind of dances?
what's this?
And then I moved to New York in 2012. When I came back in 2015, my best friend, he was like, listen, we need to go to Paris because in Paris it's going down. Like, they have this and that. And this is when I went to Paris in 2015 and I made my debut out there. And people were like, oh my God, that's a femme queen. Like, I was the first femme queen to actually, like, pump through. And yeah, it was history. It's insane.
How did that feel?
Amazing. Like, it really felt amazing. Like, being able to just be in it, fully in it, with no distractions. Like, it just was so beautiful. And the way they welcomed me in, it was also so beautiful.
Was it a particular house?
It was Charlie. He was in Ebony.
Okay.
But I also joined the house, but later on, the Vineyards. But the ball that I went to was from the House of Ebony, Charlie Ebony.
So how did it grow into what it is now? Because you end up joining the House of Milan and then creating the House of L. So tell me, how did it grow from there, that moment, to you being this new femme queen? Because what were you walking at the time?
I was walking performance.
Performance. So you
Yeah.
come in at this new femme queen performance girl, and then how does it grow into where you're at now with joining these houses?
Yeah, I joined first the Vineyards, and this is when I started to like branch into my modeling kind of career because that's when I started to like take pictures and I would just have like photo shoots just to have them. And also with my best friend, he was a hairstylist and he would do a lot of crazy shoots. So that's when I started to like branch out into like the photo shoot. But the House of Vineyard also really pushed me and kind of molded me into the professional femme queen, like with the shoots and kind of mothering a little bit. That's when I kind of started to like mother a few kids because they were like, oh my God, you're the first femme queen. Like, I need to get some medications. I want to transition also. So I kind of was like mothering people without me even knowing. And yeah, I just grew from there. First, it was the Vineyards. And when I left the Vineyards, it was the hardest thing I did, but it was also the best thing I ever did because this is when I stepped up. This is when I was like, okay, I'm here now. I can do my own thing now, because like in the Vineyard, it was kind of like I had a mother. She was the overall mother of the house. And I was just a child. Um, but after I left, I just felt like this is when everything started. Like, I started to branch out and do my own things. Like, I got the initiative with the fun. Yeah, and I started to do photo shoots on my own and just getting jobs, posting. I used to post crazy shit on my Instagram and would get the most coolest jobs. And that's how it all started. Then I got asked to be the mother of the House of Milan. And yeah, that's when everything really also kicked off.
How was that experience? What's that experience about being a mother of a house? Like, what is your like principles when it comes to mothering a house? What's the point? What's the
It's
point?
hard as
What
fuck.
is your say it again?
It's hard as fuck because you have to, take care of all these kids, of yourself. Also, it's like you almost don't have no time. So, and also building the Milan, it wasn't like a lot of member here in the Netherlands. So it was like, building it from the ground up. It's hard. It's really hard.
I love that. People don't
Yeah.
understand. People think like, "Oh, I'm going to be the mother," and not understand what
Oh,
comes
no.
along with doing, especially in a place that ballroom it doesn't have the roots.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
I
hard
love it.
as fuck. It really is.
So, how did you go into L?
We left the Milans to create L. Do you know Stanley? I don't
No,
know if you're a ballroom.
I am not.
No.
I just know it. I just know ballroom stuff.
Okay, okay. Well, we were all in the House of Milan, and Stanley was the overseer of the House of Milan. So he would travel to different countries and like recruit these people. So Stanley was having some issues with the House of Milan leaders in New York. And then he was just like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to leave. So, of course, all of his kids that he brought into the house from Europe, from Milan, we all are going to go with
We
him.
out. We out.
We just, so we just all jumped ship and he created this house, the House of L. And it was kind of
Mm,
like a homage to his daughter because his daughter's name is also L.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, how did the organization that you do now work? How did that from the grassroots of it starting? Because I see you have two other co-founders. How did it start and what was the vision and has it shifted since it started?
Yeah, the vision was always to support the Black trans. Like I told you, it's really hard to get medical, to get anything here. It's always a long waiting list. And I just kind of wanted to create something that I wish I had when I came here first, somewhere that I can just contact and be like, hey, can I get this? Like, or help me with this. So it started with that. And where it's going now, like, we were on a break for like a year. One of the co-founders, they were kind of going through it with some personal reasons. Um, and now, since this year, the beginning of this year, I'm taking it over by myself, and I'm kind of like working on a new mission board for the fund. So we're hoping to like expand more this year.
Okay.
They're kind
I
of
love
working
that.
on it. I want to get also a new team. So yeah, we were on a break for like a year, but now we're gonna be back this year.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, do you plan on coming back to New York?
I was supposed to come back this year, but maybe for later. But
Oh,
I
for
don't even, I'm
later.
not even, yeah, I'm not even sure because I'm throwing the ball, the Femme Queendom ball in June 30th, and latex is on the 22nd. So I wanted to come for the Sanaya ball, the coldest winter. That's happening next month in February, but I'm paying it.
Okay. Because you are doing a lot of the photo shoots and the modeling work, what have been some of your favorite projects that you've worked on in your modeling career?
Uncle Muller, my lingerie, because I'm so obsessed with lingerie. I've always loved lingerie. And working with them has been definitely like the highlight of my career.
Mm.
I have also a Valentine shoot that's coming out very soon. I did with them in October. So yeah, Uncle Miller, that was my favorite. Up to today is one of my favorite jobs.
Now, so you a body yaddy yaddy girl. You a thick girl like me. You know what I'm saying. I think that's a beautiful thing. And so, tell me when it comes to like this body positivity movement and where we're kind of going in the positive being more diverse in forms of bodies that we see. How has it affected your work, and how has it affected your confidence, like in being a trans model in the field?
Yeah, I wish that it would be more representation about this because we need to see more girls that look like us, normal body girls. I have had a few moments like when I did with the shoot that I would feel like they would mainly put the skinny girls in the front or like give them the most attention. Like I have felt that, but I just don't let that bother me because me being in that space already is important. It's like everything for me because I'm representing a bigger movement, you know? So it has affected me a few times, but
And you could be in a situation where you're eating it, and regardless if you're in the back or not,
exactly,
you still eating it, baby.
exactly. Wait until you see the newest shoot, honey, the newest campaign. That one is so fab. I always say love is my religion, and I always lead with love.
I love that. I love that. I remember, just seeing like Precious, um, um, who else? Just
Gia.
seeing, just seeing. There's so many people that are like, oh my god, like it's in regards to their body, and they're doing this like high end fashion work that is like
Mhm.
so inspiring to me. That I'm like, oh, I'm too old to be in exploring other stuff. Not really, I'm not, but I
Never
don't,
too
I
old.
don't, I want to do that, um, but it would be such an amazing experience to me if I was a young person that wanted to go in it because I remember back in the day, even you remember, I don't know if you remember, but you probably do. Top Model when they was talking about Takara, and I'm like,
Mhm.
Takara wasn't even fucking big. She wasn't even fucking big. And so now seeing the opportunities and the doors kind of open up, it would
Oh,
be so
yeah.
amazing if I was in my late teens, early 20s. It would be so amazing because it's so different now.
Yeah, it really is. I'm just so thankful. And my agent is like the best agency.
What's great about them?
Yeah, they look for what's not in the normal beauty standards. Like they look for big, they look for all the different stuff when it comes to that. They don't look for just the normal beauty standard.
Oh, I
And
love that.
I love that. And it's black owned, so yeah, we
Oh,
have that.
I live for that.
Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy in space to change the tide.
Most of the time when we're talking about trans stuff, sometimes we're focused on the dysphoria, like the negative stuff that comes with being trans, and it can kind of be a kind of downer. But so how I like to end the show is talking about what is bringing us euphoria. And so what is something this week or this month that has been bringing you joy? What has been bringing you joy? Just anything. It could be random, it could be small, it could be huge, it could be deep, it could be shallow. Whatever it is, what has been bringing you euphoria this week?
My kids. Like I have this new daughter and she's just really amazing. And also my shoot, my Valentine's shoot, like I just got a new picture today. So
Um,
that's bringing me so much joy. I can't wait till it's out. So
when does it
yeah,
come
my
out?
it comes out I think next week.
So the Valentine's shoot, your kids, is that
My
it?
kids. Yes. My mom,
Your mom. Yay! Hey, mama.
even though she drives me crazy, she's sleeping right.
That's what they supposed to do. That's what they're gonna do. What has been bringing me joy this week? What's bringing me joy is being in the community with trans others, so many trans people, and this conference is full of queer and trans people, and I love it, and I'm learning so much while I'm here, and that is what's bringing me joy this week. Just being here at Creating Change and conferences can kind of be boring, but it's the shit that happens in the middle when you on break and when you're doing different stuff and you're at night when the conference the workshops is over and y'all just kikiing and having dinner and having fun. That's the shit that I really really love because it's joyous and it's just fire. It's just love, community, and just us fellowshipping and being dope and sharing each other's brilliance. And I just love it. It just has been
That's
giving me joy.
beautiful.
I love it.
I wish we had trans conferences here.
You can create it.
I think it's inspiring me to create it.
Get somebody to donate you a space. It doesn't need to be some big old thing. You can start off small. Get somebody to donate you a space. Get like maybe like 2 or 3 rooms or one room if that's what you can get. Get somebody to donate you a space. Come up with an agenda and invite people. And come up with a promotion of it and invite people to the space. And so once you get that following and you create this amazing space and that people love, keep doing it. and people will start to get involved. It doesn't take that much to start, but as you keep growing, then you're gonna have to get investors and get a bigger space and that kind of stuff. So it's easy to start.
It's inspiring me to start it.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you guys are like pride organizations out there. Get them white people to fund you. Get them white people out there that claim they allies. Get them to give you a little coin to help you get some of these spaces together to help what you're doing. And yeah, that's their job. You're an ally. You're supposed to be transferring resources from your big orgs down to people who really need it. So that's what they're supposed to do. So get them to help fund it.
Okay. I'm gonna look into it.
All right, so tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram, Beauty-Imah, BEAUTIE, Imah, IMAH. On TikTok, the same. YouTube. On Facebook, Naïmah Janse. Yeah.
Yeah, so I will have all of those links down in the bottom. And I want to thank y'all for listening. And I want to thank you for joining me. I had an amazing time.
Thank you so much, beautiful.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The best way to support is to engage with the content. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Another way to support, if you got a couple of dollars, become a patron. It's a monthly donation just to help content creators continue to do work that they do. So you're sacrificing a coffee or, just a small portion just to show your appreciation for the entertainment that we provide to you on a consistent basis. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.